Hey guys, so today we're checking out the Rough Country SR2 adjustable aluminum side step bars in texture black, fitting on 2021 and newer 4-door Ford Broncos. So if you need better access to your cab area and want a heavy duty look in the meantime, these side step bars are going to be a great choice to check out. Now, this will be great for the Bronco owner who wants an extra boost up into their truck, especially if they've added a lift and needs that extra drop when it comes to a step. These will offer a large stepping surface, giving a ton of space underneath your foot, making accessibility just that much easier and also being adjustable. Now, because of the slotted rail system on the bottom of this rail here, you can perfectly slide the step into your preferred position for the best comfortability. This set will also add a decent amount of protection to the pinch weld area, completely covering it, so if you're in search of some more protection for the trail or just everyday life, this is a great choice. Now, I would like to mention that the steps do stick out and hang down a little bit from the body on the Bronco, so if you are doing any rock crawling, I would keep in mind that they do have the potential to get snagged. Now, what I will say is because the steps do work on that slotted rail system, you do have the option to take them off if you really want to have more of a high clearance setup for some off-road situations. Now, getting into the build, these will have a heavy-duty aluminum construction, being lightweight but also strong, with a black powder coat finish offering a tough look and, of course, corrosion resistance. Now, what I will say is that I do really like the way that it tucks up into the body, offering a very finished and clean look, and the boxy construction has a very similar look to the factory style rock rail, so if you're a fan of that, then these will be up your alley. Now, when it comes to price, these will come in at roughly $500, putting this at a little bit more of a premium price compared to some other steps. Now, when comparing this to some other options in the category, I do really like this choice because it will give you a ton of coverage from the bottom of the pinch weld all the way up to the side body line on the rocker panel. Now, some other choices may offer a similar drop-down step, but won't tuck as close or cover as much as this choice will. Not to mention, with the step being adjustable and removable, this will allow you a little bit more flexibility when it comes to clearance and also offering solid accessibility in the meantime. Now, I think if you're looking for a side step bar that is going to have a high quality build and is right in the middle when it comes to protection and accessibility for your Bronco, then this is going to be a great choice. Now, install is going to be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about 2 hours to get the job done with the right hand tools, and one of our installers here is going to walk you through that process step by step. So that's going to wrap it up for my review. Let's hop into the install.
Tools used for this install: 3/8 ratchet, 17 and 13 millimeter sockets, 13 millimeter ratcheting wrench, and 5 millimeter Allen head. Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to install our aluminum side step bars on our 21 Bronco. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is install these brackets we have with this kit. So there's going to be one that gets installed here, here, and one in the front. And as you can see, this bracket here has a hole that's slotted right here. This is going to go into a hole that's into the body already from the factory, that's already threaded. And then we will secure these wings here off of this bracket to the pinch weld, and that'll hold these brackets in place. Then we'll be able to bolt our side steps right onto the side of this and get this secure. So now we're under the truck facing towards the back. This is the back tire. We have a hole right here. We have our bracket. And what I'm going to do is stick our bracket in place here. I'm going to take this 17 millimeter that's supplied in our kit, get it started in this factory drilled hole that's already tapped here. And I'm going to run it in by hand. And it has a flat washer and a lock washer on it, if you can see it. And then I'm going to take the 13 millimeters that are supplied in the kit with this big washer, put it through here. I'm going to put a nut on the back end of this, snug it up. Do the same in the front here on this bracket. You might not be able to see it, but I'm putting it through here. Same thing. I'm going to snug it up like that and get those two in place. Now what I'm going to do is take my 3/8 ratchet with my 17 millimeter. I'm going to tighten this back bolt. I'm going to change it over here to a 13 millimeter socket, and then I'm going to change it to a wrench. I'm going to put the wrench on this. I'm going to take my 13 millimeter socket on my 3/8 ratchet and tighten these two up. And the same with the front one. Now we'll move on to our middle bracket. So again, we're going to take our bracket, stick it up in place here, take our 17 millimeter, start it here first, get that started. And again, I'm just going to snug it up like that. And I'm going to take our 13 millimeters with our flat washer, put them through, put the nut on the other side, snug that one up. Do the same to this one here. There we go. Put our nut on the back side, tighten that up. Now I'm already converted over here, so I'm going to take my 13 millimeter socket with my ratchet, take my wrench, hold on to this, tighten these two up first, and do the same to the front one. Change our socket here to a 17 millimeter, tighten this up. Now we'll go on to our front bracket. So now I'm going to put my front bracket on the same way. Take my 17 millimeter here, get it in place, run it in, snug it up by hand. I'm going to take my 13 millimeters, start these, put a nut on the back side of it, like that. Do the same with the front one. Get that in place. Hold my wrench. I got a 13 millimeter wrench here. Take my ratchet. Do the same at the front one here. We'll switch it over here to our 17 millimeter socket. And now we'll tighten up our 17 millimeter here. And now we have everything tight. Now we'll go and get ready to install our step bar. So first thing we're going to do now that we have our brackets on our vehicle is we're going to get ready to install our side step bars here onto this piece of our side step. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take two of the 13 millimeter bolts, get them in the center here. Then we're going to put bolts in our side steps here and we'll slide them on, slide this one on this way, put a couple more bolts in, put our end caps on, and then we'll be able to take this whole unit and stick it on the vehicle. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my two 13 millimeters here that I have, slide them in our rail and put them in the center. Those two are going to be for the middle bracket. Then we're going to come over to our first side step here and we're going to put our bolts through here and we're going to leave them pretty loose. That way we can have some maneuverability when we slide this into the slots there. Same up here. I'm going to put a top one in and the other one here. And then I'm going to start a couple threads on these. Just like that. Leave them loose so we can get them into the slots when we go to put them on. Do the same on this side. Just a couple threads. Same with the top ones. Okay, now that we have these in place, we're going to take them over here. We're going to slide this into our rail. Then we'll repeat this same procedure on this one over here and slide that one in. Now I have my side step getting ready to be slid in here. You're just going to have to line the bolts up so that you get them on their flats so that they can go on just like that. Going to wiggle that in place. And we're going to come to this one. And we're going to do the same. We'll get the flats lined up so that they fall into place. There we go. And that one there. Now, I'm just going to slide this on and run the nuts in with my fingers here just a little bit to keep it from moving around. Now you're going to just want to repeat the same procedure on the opposite end. And get the flats. The tricky part is there's 3 of them. And you got to get all 3 to line up. And now that we have both our side steps on, now we're going to stick some bolts in the ends for our other brackets and then put our caps on. Now we have both of the side steps mounted. We're just going to slide 2 more 13 millimeters in. These are for our back bracket, and then the other side will be for the front bracket. So next we're going to put our end cap in place. Goes in sort of like that. First, what you have to do is they supply you some nuts. You're just going to have to push them in. I'm just going to get them in place here. Pretty much just like that. We'll get these back somewhere in that area there. And I'll take my cap, slide it over top. Once I got that on, what you're going to want to do is take the Allen heads that are supplied, just line the nut up with the hole, put your Allen head in place here. We'll tighten that one up, do the same to this one. And do the same down here to the bottom one. Line that nut up. Now you're just going to want to repeat that same procedure on the opposite side. So now we have everything in place. We're ready to put this onto our side brackets here. I have the holes lined up, kind of where they're going to be. The side steps in place. So now I'm just going to take it over and get it in place and then start 2 of our bolts. Pretty much like that. Now I'll get under and start 2 of our bolts. So now I'm just going to start our 2 center bolts, or put our 2 center nuts on here and get these so it holds it in place. And then once I get those 2 on, what I'm going to do is just adjust the side steps a little bit. Now we'll get underneath, put all our nuts on, tighten everything up. So next what we're going to do is I've already just started the 2 bolts here for our bracket that holds our bracket onto the side step itself. I'm going to take my 13mm wrench and tighten these up first. Same with the top one. And now I have my side step, I eyeballed it and I got it where I wanted in the center. So we're going to get in here. There's 3 bolts here, 3 bolts here. I'm going to tighten these up with my 13mm wrench. I'm going to do the same on these here. Tighten these up. And the top one here. Might have to use the open end on that to get to that one. Okay, now we'll go on to our middle bracket and our front side step. So now we're going to tighten up the 2 here on our bracket. These are the ones we started to hold it in place. Just take my 13mm wrench, tighten these 2 up. And then we have 3 here on our side step at the back. And this one. And then the one up top here, which again, you might have to use your open end to get into that one. Now we'll tighten the front side step up and our front bracket. So now we're going to tighten up the 3 in the front here on our side step. We already tightened the back ones up. And then the same with this one here. And then you're going to use your open end on your 13mm here to get up in place here. I'll tighten this one up. All right, now we're going to go up here. We have 2 nuts started on our bracket that holds this in place. So we're going to spin them on. And then we'll take our 13mm again, tighten these 2 up. And the top one. Now you're going to just want to repeat this whole install procedure on the opposite side. That wraps up this review and install of our Rough Country SR2 adjustable aluminum side step bars, textured black for 21 and up Bronco 4-doors. Thanks for watching, and for all things Bronco, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.